Hello and welcome back to our second part of our very first lesson on Python. We're going to download Python and then we're going to run our very first script. Let me go ahead and exit out of this. By the way, if you need to make PowerPoint presentations, Google Slides, super easy. So anyways, go ahead and open up a new tab, a new browser window, wherever you'd like to go. And you're going to go to your search bar and you're just going to type in the word Python. Now I'm using DuckDuckGo as my browser, or as my search engine, sorry. So my search engine, DuckDuckGo, really failed me. I tried this earlier, and I'm like, wait, I search Python and I get an ad for like udemy.com? Oh, DuckDuckGo, you disappoint me. Anyways, so we can scroll on down, and the first non-ad, notice these are ads at the top, should be python.org. Python.org is actually the very first response if you go to google.com, which I'm assuming most of you are using. Google wins this round, by the way. If you search Python, python.org. Either way, you're just going to go to python.org, and you're probably going to save yourself a little bit of time. Just click on the Downloads button. Under the Downloads button, you'll see a little like yellow button, mine's yellow anyways, that says Download the latest version for, and it should automatically, hopefully, detect your operating system. It should say for Mac if you're using a Mac, or Windows if you're using Windows. You're going to click that little link. It's going to download. You can see I've already downloaded a couple times. Scanning for a virus. Okay, that's always a good idea to have antivirus software. Yes, even if you're on a Mac, it's still possible to get viruses if you're on a Mac. I know. Okay, and I get this lovely little button here that says install now. Now, if you're on a Mac, it might look a little bit different. Either way, you want to install it. Now, there's one thing I want to point out before you click this button. You're like, but Mr. Wilson, I already clicked it. Don't worry about it. Close out of it. Go back to your downloads folder. Open it back up. And it should hopefully take you back to the setup page. You want to click this little link right here, add Python 3.8 to path. Click. That makes life easier. Once you click add Python 3.8 to path, you want to click install now. Hopefully you didn't see that. I was hoping it would hide my pen. Okay. And we're waiting. I probably should pause the video, but it didn't take much time the last time around. Ah, there we go. So setup, we've got it ready to go, hopefully. Now, in Windows, you've got a little button down here at the lower left-hand corner. That's your little search button. And on that button, you can just type in, here's what you need to type in, IDLE, idle. Like a car's idling, you're going to look for idle. Whoa, I have 32-bit and 64-bit? What just happened? Anyways, doesn't matter which one you choose. Although I'm kind of curious, where did this come from? It wasn't there before. We're going to click on idle. I'm going to click on the 32-bit version. Probably doesn't really matter where it comes from. Quick note also, if you have any trouble with any parts of this, please reach out to me. I had another student I was working with, and the computer had some issues because they downloaded it on the Windows Store instead of from python.org, and they couldn't get the python.org one to work correctly because of that. So we had to go uninstall, and then I think eventually they got the Windows Store version one working. I haven't run into that since, but again, if you have any trouble, just reach out. All right, I'm going to click on idle, and it'll load. There we go. And when you click on idle, if you're on a Mac, in the upper right-hand corner, you should have a picture of like a little magnifying glass. I forget what that's called. Your Finder? No, it's got some fancy name. Oh well, it's a little magnifying glass where you type stuff on your Mac and it like finds it on your computer. And you can type in idle there as well. And it gives you all this information up at the top. You can ignore all that. What we're really looking for are these three little, I don't know, greater than signs pointing to the right. That's where you're going to type in your command. You're not actually writing a program you're going to save at this point. We're just going to learn how to write a short little script to tell the computer to do something. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to type in print. This is like the first program most people ever write. So you just type in the word print. Now, it's something important I want you to notice. Watch what happens as I finish the T. Notice it's black. Boom. Hit T, it turns a purplish color. When it turns that color, it means you've typed in a command that Python understands, or rather this shell, they call it a shell. It's kind of like an interactive shell. Anyways, what this thing understands is a Python command. We'll just call it that for now. And you're going to open up a little set of parentheses, and it gives you all this stuff. Print, value, comma, dot, dot. You don't have to worry about all that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to print quotation marks, hello world. And so we're telling the computer to do something. Hey, print hello world. What do you suppose it's going to do when we press enter? Stop and think about it. Pressing enter, by the way, is kind of like pressing enter on your calculator. You can kind of think of writing a program like a calculator. You type in some stuff, you press enter, and it does what you told it to do. It adds, subtracts, multiplies, divides. This time we're telling it to print. We press enter. There it is. It printed hello world. Notice it printed the string out in blue. Great. So we told the computer to print something. It printed it. You've written your very first script. Woohoo! Y'all, that was like seriously easy. If you had any difficulty getting this program to work, please feel free to let me know. Be really careful, I would say, about the quotation marks. So if it's not in quotation marks, it may not print hello world. Also, it needs to open with a set of parentheses and add or end with the other part of the parentheses. So print, open, in quotation marks what you want to print, and then parentheses at the end. Now, if any of that was messed up, y'all, you're not going to break anything. Worst that happens is it gives you an error message. Hello world. Suppose I forgot my end with my quote. Syntax error, EOL while scanning string literal. EOL stands for end of line. It was trying to scan it, and it didn't find the end quotation mark. It was waiting for you to tell it when to end what you were telling it to print. You could also maybe did this, print hello world, and forgot the closing set of parentheses. All it does is just keep going to the next line because it's waiting for you to end the program. Let me close that. It still works. So again, if it gives you any trouble, just let me know. That's really the end of this video. In this video, we took a look at how to install Python and how to write your very first script in this little interactive shell they're calling idle. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to catching you in the very next video. We're going to take a look at our friends' variables. Thank you, and I look forward to catching you next time.